table is used when we have large amounts of data because it is very easy to analyze with the help of pivot table rather than doing with the formulas. So for example, let's say we have these data here. We want to find out how much revenue this particular company earned by selling chocolate chip alone. Now we have to go put the some formulas, calculate individually. This is such a huge process. In order to simplify it, we use pivot table. So we'll first make a table because when you want to add something later, let's say you want to add states or something later, the pivot table will automatically include that too. So that's why we're putting this in a table. Then we'll go to insert, pivot table, table or range. The table has been named already as sales data. That's why the table or range is showing as sales data. We'll decide if it's new worksheet or existing worksheet. Then click OK. So the pivot table is now created. So now we want to know how much revenue we earn by selling the products, different products. So we'll first put the products in the row. We'll drag the products down to row. So in the row, all the products that the company is selling has been listed. So next, we'll select and drag the revenues to the values. We use values when you want to calculate anything at the maximum, minimum, average, or just want the count of the particular column or row. We use values. So sum of the revenue. So by selling chocolate chip, the company is earning this much money. So that is something we can easily find out by using pivot table. Since the sales data, everything is in dollars, just go right click number format, change it to currency. We'll go with dollar. So we found out the total sum of the revenues. So if you don't want something, let's say we don't want the product row, product column, you can just select the product and take it outside. So we just have the sum of the revenue right now. We can also unselect it here. Okay. So now I want to know how much units we sold for particular products. So let me drag the products to the columns. Now all the products that are available are listed there, and I'll drag the units sold to the values. So it's here says sum of units sold, which we don't need. We need the count. So we select value field setting, we change it to count. Okay. So now we can see the 202 chocolate chips were sold, 93 fortune cookies were sold, and all that. Now, if you want in a particular order, let's say from largest to smallest, you just go right click, sort from largest to smallest. So now it's in a particular order. Chocolate chip has been sold the most, sugar next, followed by white chocolate, next oatmeal. So if you want to sort it from smallest to largest, same similar pattern. You want to know how many customer IDs are there. So we just select and drag customer to the groups. So we have customer IDs from 1 to 5. Now we want to know how much revenues these customers are bringing into the company. So we'll just drag revenues to values and just change the number format to dollars. Now, if we want to know, let's say how much the customers are bringing revenue by buying a particular product, let's say chocolate chips. So how should we do it? We'll just drag product with filters and select chocolate chip and click OK. Now this sum of revenue just gives the amount of revenue that the customers brought in by just buying chocolate chip. We can also select, we have the option select multiple items. If you click that, you can select even all or just Click OK to get the particular revenues.
So in this video, I'll be going over pivot table layouts as well as pivot table filters. So pivot table layouts are essentially when you have your cursor on an active cell within the data, you can see, once you go to the design section, you can see the report layouts which come in the form of show and compact form, show and outline form, show and tabular form, repeat all item labels and do not repeat item labels. These are different ways in which you can format your pivot tables to uh, fit your needs better. The pivot table filtering feature helps us filter out and see the information that you want to see in whatever way possible. So, for example, in our data set here, we have the product, that is different types of cookies, as well as customers ranging from the numbers 1 to 5. So, you have the option to filter out, to look at this data set from the perspective of just the cookies, the type of cookies, or you can go ahead and filter it out to see what each customer has bought, the number of cookies each customer has bought, or the different customers who have bought one particular cookie. So that's another way in which you can use the filtering tool. Then there are lots of other things that you can experiment around within these, but these are some of the most basic and important features that are present, and I'll be going over those in the next few minutes. Hi, so I will be going over layouting and filtering of the table. So this is the data set that we've used, and this is the pivot table that we've made. Now you need to be on an active cell in order for you to make any sort of changes within the table. So this is where we have pivot table finds. In case this ends up getting closed, you can always go to pivot table analyze and find it right there. So yeah, now these are the selected options that we have. We have the customers. So we've customer 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this is the sum of the units sold, sum of revenue, and sum of cost. So here are a few options where we can filter things out in case. As you can see in rows, we have customer. If we remove this field, we will have a more condensed data set. Now, if I were to put in customer back right below product, this is how it come. I can also put customer above product, and this is how it would show. So this is customer 1, and this is how many cookies and units that they've made from this one customer. So there are different ways in which you can, according to your need, set it. Now in the sum here again, we have sum of units sold, sum of revenue, sum of cost, and you can change these values. So to click on that, you click on sum of customer, value field setting, and here you can see some of the changes that you can make. So if you want with the count of the customers instead of the sum of the customers, you can go ahead and click that, and then OK, and you now have a count of the customers instead of their sum. You can always add multiple of those. So I'm going to add customer here again, and now I have a sum of the customers and a count of the customers as two different headings. We can go to value field settings and make changes here. The minimum, so this is the minimum number that each customer has got. So that's that, and now remove this field and keep it this particular way. There are a lot of filters that you can add. So let's drag and take product and drop it here in the filters column. So now you have another drop box here to select which are the ones that you want. So I'm going to go ahead with oatmeal raisin and select a total to get. And these are the analysis for just those two items. Now, if we were to do all of them, I'm going to click that, and as you can see, the totals have changed. So that's one of the ways you can use filter. Again, field settings for those uh, I heard as well. Then we have, so I'm just going to remove this field and select on product. So now we're here again. Some of the options that you have would be here in this set. So let's go to design and see what are some of the changes we can make for the layout. So here are the subtotals. You can either choose to show the subtotals at the bottom of the group, which is there, or you can change it and have it show at the top. I will go for it being at the bottom because that just looks more organized. Then we have grand totals. We can turn off the grand totals, turn them on only for rows. So our pivot table right here does not have any grand total, so we won't be seeing any changes. But once there is a column, you can always make changes here. We also have different ways for different types of document submissions. So we have a show in compact format. Here is an outline one, and here is a tabular form, which looks a little more organized. And here is uh, repeating an option, not repeating an option, so it just stays on top. A lot of things that you can experiment with. So it'll go ahead and show in compact format. Now we also have blank rows if that's something that you want to maybe help make your data look a little more organized, or we could remove that. Then this is some of the basic Excel features changing the theme of your table. So we'll go ahead with this one. Alright. Now one more thing that you can do is we have sum of revenue, sum of costs. These are figures that are in rupees. So we can add the rupee symbol here to all of these. For that, you just have to select one of the cells, go to the value here, scroll down. So here we have sum of revenue. We want to add the rupee symbol here. We'll go to sum of revenue under values and then click on it, value field settings. Then we can, as you can see, number format here. We'll go there and then here currency, and here all you have to do, you have a bunch of currencies to select from. We'll go ahead and take rupees sign and then click OK. OK again, and as you can see, we have the rupee symbol showing in this column, and we can do the same for sum of cost as well. So again, value field settings, number format, currency, and drop down and find whichever currency that you would like to use. I'll just go with rupees. Okay. Uh, Sum of units sold and count of customers. That's another one of the things that you can use for just layouting your Excel, sorry, your pivot table. Now we'll come to, we can add filters to our table as well. We're going to click on this column here, go to this, click on filter, and now we have drop down options for all of our uh, columns here. So let's go to product, and you can choose to show so you can choose to show the ones that you want. Filter those out. Um, for example, I'll go ahead. I only want to see the data for chocolate chip. I'm just going to unselect the rest. And here we have the chocolate chip purchases made by customer 1, customer 2, customer 3, and customer 4 accordingly. And you can keep filtering this according to your needs. If you just want chocolate chip and fortune cookies, you'll get that per customer. You can also change the formats. You can make rows as columns and columns as rows. And for that, we'll just take customers to this side. Sorry, one second. We will take product above the values, and this kind of becomes a horizontal elongated table. So we're back to this one. Um, so those are some of the things that you can do with the layouting and filtering of your pivot tables. We will filter out product. Let's put product in filters and see some of the options. So we have field settings, and this is the filter that we have, and the values will change accordingly. You can show clear filter from row labels, just some of the basic ones. The filtering option is one of the most useful features here. So now we'll just select all or select none and select snickerdoodle, and here we go, the snickerdoodle for uh, each customer. It's customer 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So those are some of the basics that are there to know about the pivot table and how you can, kind of explore and some of the, more complicated filters here. You can, play around with it and see what kind of layout you like, how you want to format it, and yeah. So
This section of the video concentrates on modifying pivot tables. On screen, you can see the main table which shows the sales of different products, and in the new sheet, the pivot table has been created. In this table, there are three columns, that is customer, total revenue, and order ID. Suppose I do not want column or order ID. To remove this field, we just have to drag the order ID under values away from the task pane. And as you can see, I no longer have order ID as a column. Now let's say we want to see the customer who's brought in the most revenue. To do so, we simply have to right-click the column, then click on Sort and click on Largest to Smallest. As you can see, customer 3 has brought in the most revenue. I can also custom sort this list. If I want to see customer 5 at the very top, simply right-click the cell and click on Move. Now in this table, we see the total revenue as a unit of currency. But what if I want to see how much each customer brought in revenue as a unit of percentage? To do so, we go back to the task pane and drag revenue to the values field. Here I will click on the column and click on show values as and choose percentage of grand total. We can even custom change the headers of the pivot table by clicking on the cell and changing it to our wish. We can even add multiple rows. Along with seeing the revenue with the customer, we can see it by product as well by dragging product to rows. You can collapse and expand the group. To interchange the rows, we have to drag product and move it to the columns in the task pane. Now customer is the row and products are each columns. We can even change the design of our table by clicking the design tab, and we can change the style. We can even decide whether we want to show grand totals. Here you can see the grand totals have been removed from the table, and to get it back, we choose the on option. Okay, so in this video, we'll be learning how to insert pivot charts. So the table in which you want to insert the chart, just select any cell in that table. For example, I've selected C5. Go on insert and insert pivot chart. You'll get a table range. It will already be selected because you selected a cell within the table. You can either choose to insert your pivot chart in a new worksheet or in the existing one. Here I'll be selecting existing worksheet, and for the location I'll select a random cell here and click OK. Now you'll get a empty pivot chart like this. You have to go on this side. You'll get a pivot chart fields drop down menu here. You can choose, I'll choose a product and units sold. So you'll get a pivot chart here. You can customize your pivot chart according to style, different styles and colors as well. Okay. Now you can, the reason why we insert pivot charts is rather than any other normal charts is because they're flexible. You can choose what you want on your x-axis, what you want on your right y-axis, and even suppose like I've chosen this product on the x-axis, I can filter it. Instead of choosing all the products, I can choose one or two products and I'll get data according to that. You can even add some filters to the table. Here I'll add customer as a filter and drag it here and get a filter here. Click on the drop down menu and suppose I want to know about all the fortune cookies and the sugar units sold to customer 3. So I'll select 3 here. Okay, and I'll get the data accordingly. You can choose multiple customers as well. Suppose I want to know about customer 3 and 4. So, yeah. Now suppose I want two tables. Okay, instead of sum of units sold, let's take revenue and let's have all the products here. Suppose I want two pivot charts side by side, explaining about one showing the revenue and one will be showing the cost. So I'll go back to our table, select any cell, go on insert, pivot chart, pivot chart. The table is selected, existing worksheet. For location, I'll select any random location here. I got the pivot chart, product, okay, so select product and our costs. Here, shift it accordingly. I want it right beside our previous pivot chart. I'll just cancel this out right now. Yeah. So we add all the products and the sum of the costs. We can filter them. I'll add a filter now. So the if the field gets lost, you can just click on the pivot table chart and select field list here. It comes under table analyze only. and I'll add customer as a filter similarly like I did in the previous one. Customer one. Okay, here also customer one. So it's easier for us to compare. So